Hey, what's going on 3 hours now? We've seen consistent snow. We're going to tilt down so you can see the accumulation. We're ankle deep in snow right now. A completely different picture from a few hours ago when we got here just before 8 o'clock. It was just light flurries and a little bit of a dusting. Now you see it, things have changed, and it changed pretty quickly. You see the accumulation on the roads. I'm stepping on the roads because I don't see any cars, and we've seen fewer and fewer cars on the road for the last couple of hours. Take a look at this car, this Honda right here. A woman who lives 2 houses down told me that a woman, her neighbor actually, was sitting in the car with her baby. You see this car seat right here. When a tree fell on the car, you see that glass is shattered in the back. Luckily, no one was hurt, and they were able to walk away. If we pan to our right, you see the U-Haul truck in their yard. Right now, they're trying to salvage anything they can. Good morning, Sheba. Behind me is a giant hole where you can see directly inside that condo. This morning, we spoke with the elderly woman's son. Police released that surveillance video yesterday, and everyone from Governor Kemp to Mayor Bottoms to even students here on campus are urging people to come forward with any information so that police can make an arrest. Take a close look at your screen. This is the man that police believe fired into the crowd of students. People are already out here on the water here at Lake Lanier, and talking with DNR ahead of this weekend, they told me that it's simple things you can do to be safe while you're on the water. Good morning. It's Sunday, February 23rd. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Nick Sturdivant, filling in for Christy Etheridge. Coming up this hour, a fire sweeps through a home, killing a man. What made it difficult for firefighters to reach the scene? The GBI has now identified the man who died after he drove his car into Lake Lanier as he opened fire on police officers. We talked about it during the break. It happened during the first inning. Red Sox outfielder Mookie Betts reaching out to grab a potential home run, and then this happened. Gwinnett County's Troy Caldwell knocks the ball out of his hands. I spoke with him briefly today. He told me that this is a lot to take in. He seemed very overwhelmed on the phone, and a lot of people online are comparing this to Steve Bartman. Come on, Steve Bartman? Steve Bartman.
Nick, I have one question. Is Drake there?
No, I have not seen Drake so far. I know you're a huge Drake fan, but good morning, Latasha. Setup is going on right now. Gates open at noon, and this is a milestone year for the One Music Fest. This is literally off the beating path. We're about a half a mile off the main road. We even had a hard time finding it. And this is the trail that jogger was on. Gwinnett County Police are still working to identify those two men. That's right. I'm sort of in this thick of things, Christy. Good morning. Last check, security wait times are about 15 to 30 minutes, but not that bad. But we all know how Atlanta's airport is, Hartsfield-Jackson. It gets busy throughout the day, waves of people, as you can see. Then all of a sudden, we just got hit with an intense wind and rain at the same time. And the amazing part about this storm is that people were actually on the roads as the storm was hitting at full force. And then we saw another black plume of smoke pop up, and then you see flames on top of that. So again, there was a lot of fear here. There was a lot of curiosity near here. But again, this is completely different. Everything is clear from our end on the southbound lanes. You see the amount of traffic. The amount of cars coming down the southbound lane. And that also tells the story of how busy it gets here on this part of I-85. Northbound and southbound, but for now, the flashing lights in the distance, and the work continues to clean up what was left behind. I'm Nick Sturdivant in the studio. The search for a missing hiker in North Georgia has come to a tragic end. Behind me, the parking lot is still taped off hours after the shooting, and we just got more information from police clarifying what exactly happened. The Fighting Irish ranked number 7, Bulldogs ranked number 3, and of course downtown will be packed. We're about 10-15 minutes away from downtown Athens. For people that live near Lakewood Football Stadium in southeast Atlanta, they're used to it. The noise from the game, the bands, the crowds.
I mean, it's a pretty normal occurrence, especially during this time of year. It's Friday night lights. Saturday, just football.
Saturday night, Mays High School and Carver High played each other in a preseason football game.
I mean, nothing seemed out of the ordinary until that moment.
That moment when TJ Hardaway said he and his roommates heard gunshots.
And we hear a little commotion. I look out the window and I see some kids coming down from between the houses, like they're running from something. And then people start walking from one direction, people start walking from the stadium's direction, and they're screaming back and forth, but you don't see anything. And then out of nowhere, maybe like 10 or 12 gunshots. We just dropped to the floor.
Enrico Brunson says he was spending quality time with his family when he heard the gunshots.
At that point, we decided to move our kids upstairs and kind of lock down our house because I was looking at the amount of people kind of running away from the scene, so it was obvious that something had happened.
Investigators told us this all started as an argument after the game and then escalated to gunshots. All of this happening about a block away from the parking lot. A 12-year-old boy was shot along with a 16-year-old boy, both expected to be okay. Enrico told me that this is the first major problem he's seen on game day and would like to keep it that way.
I would definitely like to see more police patrolling the area, only because I think that their presence does a lot for the community and to deter crime or violence that may occur.
There's definitely some caution that we're definitely going to take in terms of safety.
Fear, frustration, and complete chaos. Many stuck on Interstate 85 North, abandoning their cars Saturday morning to get to safety, while those slightly further away decided to stay and wait it out. Several hopping onto cars, the concrete median, trying to get a glimpse of what happened. After, according to GDOT, a tractor trailer carrying fuel and another vehicle collided, causing this.
Oh, it was calamity.
Stephen Paul says he was on 85 North on the way to work when he saw the flames. He said he heard as many as 15 to 16 explosions and saw 3 different plumes of smoke. He said he left his truck and immediately started consoling those shaken.
They were crying inconsolably. In fact, I was trying to calm them down, letting them know it would be okay. It's just a fuel explosion. But when you hear that many explosions around you, and then, of course, the calamity of everybody being rushed away. In fact, some people even started turning their cars around to go the opposite way on 85, almost like a stampede. In fact, a lot of cops had to bum rush them because pedestrians were almost getting hit.
So I was maybe 100 feet back from the accident. Before the gas truck had stopped moving, it was already on fire. Immediately pulled over. That sucker was up in 30 seconds, so far as getting really kind of roaring, being able to feel the heat off of it.
At one point, even nearby businesses were evacuated.
To be honest with you, just prayers, to be honest with you. To see a fire like that, of that nature, just prayers all around.
Auburn Avenue is arguably the epicenter of Black history in Atlanta. The sights, the murals, tell the story.
And I wanted to open a space where things were accessible.
One of Auburn Avenue's newest businesses tells that story too.
And I'm guessing it was intentional to open it on Auburn Avenue. You're talking about a lot of history.
And so this is not only like a very important part of the city and a very important place for Black folks to live and thrive, and has been for a very long time, but it's also a part of me because this is where I grew up.
This is Rosa Duffy, the owner of For Keeps bookstore.
This one is Angela Davis Answers 13 Questions.
She opened it in 2018. Her store features rare, hard to find, and classic books by African and African American authors. But it doesn't stop there.
I just received this Dawn magazine collection.
Rosa also collects iconic Black magazines and artifacts.
What made you want to open a store like this?
So I went to school for art. I've been living in New York for about 8 years, and I was making a lot of stuff that came from text and from books. And
She started collecting when she was 18.
And also growing up, my parents were always, instilling in me the importance of our history. And
Her love for Black history and books led her to eventually open a space for people to come and sit and read for as long as they want.
The fact that people can come in, learn about themselves, and then be interested in learning more is what I like that people take away from here.